Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Mirade.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
Support Wrestling Insiders and keep wrestling legends working on eBay. Get this WWE NXT TakeOver War Games 2020 11x14 limited edition autograph poster signed by everyone on the event. Number 23 of only 100 made. Includes signatures from the Undisputed Era: Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, Tommaso Ciampa, Timothy Thatcher, Io Shirai, Tony Storm, Rhea Ripley, Dexter, Loomis, and more. Comes with authentication hologram on the back of the poster. Also comes with mystery autographed 8x10 and an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas on Wrestling Insiders at your house. Get it now. Boston Wrestling Sports and the MWF explodes into a new year of unknown with professional wrestling content galore, and we need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after we review the previous night's Monday Night Raw, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with the unpredictable WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights after WWE, NXT, and AEW at 10 p.m., you never know who's going to show up on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll journey through the 80s and 90s on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday nights after the lights go down at the Thunderdome on SmackDown, it's John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. If you want early, ad-free access to all of our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and to help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times, for less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, welcome to another installment of Wrestling Insiders current events on this Arctic evening here just north of Boston in the zip code of Champion 02176, MWF Studios, downtown Melrose, Massachusetts, as we prepare to discuss the results, the news, the views from the March 1st, 2021 edition of WWE Monday Night Raw. Please note, fans, this is the only TV review show this week. We hate to break your heart, but we will have news announcements at 9 p.m. on Thursday and 9 p.m. Saturday to fill the void of the AEW, NXT, and SmackDown review shows. We also want to send along a major thank you to Boston Wrestling superfan. I hope I'm going to announce this right. Uli Kaiser. And if I said that wrong, I am apologetic. Please correct me. Sent along a tremendous gift to Boston Wrestling to try and help the cause with the legends, getting them in the studio. Very much appreciated. Thank you kindly, sir or madam. I don't want to be too presumptive. Also want to remind you folks, we have a very loaded week here, even though we don't have these TV reviews. We do have, at the top of the hour tonight, Wrestling Insiders at your house with the Hall of Famer, Mr. USA Tony Atlas, where he shoots on Edge, Carlito, Lars Sullivan, Orange Juice, and much more. Tomorrow night, Wednesday at 10 p.m., it's Wrestling Insider Special Edition with the return of the Warlord, who shoots on the deaths of Pat Patterson and Road Warrior Animal. Thursday night, get ready for a supersized hour-and-a-half party with Marty as Marty Jannetty shoots on the deaths of Pat Patterson, Brody Lee, and Tom Cole, along with the young Shawn Michaels in Memphis. Then Friday night, after SmackDown at 10 p.m., John Cena Sr. shoots on Lacey Evans' pregnancy, Carlito, Zelina Vega's no compete clause coming to an end, and much more. If you miss an episode or want to watch them again with friends during the live premiere, Saturday night at 10 p.m., I'll be joined by special co-host in studio John Cena Sr. as we watch all 4 of those in studio shoot interviews from this week together with you guys chatting right along. Even during these coronavirus times, the nightlife may be dead unless you're Howard or Cecil on Tinder. Baby, the eBay store is open 24/7. The link is in the description box below, along with the acclaimed Patreon streaming service, where you get early, ad-free access to all of our weekly in-studio shoots. You get access to hundreds of studio shoot interviews, along with the DVDs that have been seen by millions online and millions on the Howard Stern Show. You get exclusive Patreon content, including the Marty Jannetty episode that dropped this week, where he discusses his reconstructive ankle surgery and much more, along with the knowledge of knowing you keep professional wrestling legends working, all for less than a cup of a coffee at Starbucks. Not a bad deal. With that said, a man that doesn't mind a little chocolate in his coffee, Mr. Dave Carter. Dave, thank you for joining us today.
What's going on?
Well,
it is out there. I'll definitely agree that. What a change, huh?
Oh, DLL, I'm looking forward for the excursion on Wednesday night as I head down south for a little undercover mission, as well as a little amusement park action. But that's a different story for a different time. Hopefully, it'll be a little warmer in Orlando than it is here in the City of Champions, Melrose, Massachusetts right now. But big night on Monday Night Raw. I pass the baton to you. Let's cover it from A to Z, as the Sheik would say.
All right. Well, yes, we will kick it off with we had a video package of what happened between Lashley and The Miz, what led up to tonight's match. They did a nice package in the very beginning, and then we kicked it off with Drew heading down to the ring. He gets on the mic, and he just basically says it hasn't been a good month for him. Doesn't understand why Sheamus turned on him. Talks about outlasting 5 other people in the Elimination Chamber. Then he gets blindsided by Bobby Lashley. Then gets pinned by The Miz. But now he's got clear vision. He wants to regain the championship in main event WrestleMania. Whoever wins tonight, they have a target on them. Miz comes out with Morrison. Miz wants to be officially introduced. So obviously he gets introduced by the ring announcer. Overheard everything Drew said. He admires Drew on how he has handled everything. Drew tells Miz to come on into the ring and give him a hug. Miz declines. If you want to blame someone, blame Bobby Lashley, Miz tells Drew McIntyre. He wants to do Miz's dirty work. Miz says he didn't want Lashley's help. He had to make the deal with Lashley. Miz says, why would Lashley get first title shot? Just keep talking nonsense. Basically, Miz just keeps on talking nonsense, trying to hype up Drew, trying to get him basically to join his side so he doesn't have to face Lashley tonight. MVP comes out, and MVP says, Drew, tell me you're not buying into this or taking any of this seriously. He says, no, of course not. He tells Miz, you can't change the match, and it's at 9 p.m. tonight. They put a time on the match, which was pretty cool. I'd never seen them do that before.
I know. What would happen if, in theory, if it was real and it went long?
Right. Miz continues to beg Drew. Sheamus comes out and says all Drew can think about is himself. That's all he cares about. Drew and Sheamus attack each other outside the ring. Ref pulls them apart, and then we go to commercial break. So I know that was a long-winded, but that's how it went down.
It was a very long and interesting segment.
Yes, there you go. I thought it was long to get to the point. I did like the time frame just because it was different, but I mean, honestly, how could you put a time? I guess it's to get people to stay, right? That's pretty much why you do it. Yeah.
I mean, you know what, to put the time stamp on it to know something is going to occur at a certain time. But just, to me, too many characters that I wasn't interested in spending time with.
Right, I get you. But, hey, you know what? It was different. I don't know if you have – I don't want to interrupt you, so I'll let you finish with your thought on
that. That was about it. Like I said, it just, with different people, I think I would have liked it even more. But as far as Miz, MVP, McIntyre, Sheamus, they're just, no one I really want to spend too much time watching on any given night.
I get you. We got the match, Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. I loved it. I thought it was long, but I loved it. I told you earlier, I thought they would tell a good story, and I honestly think they did. I thought they worked very hard for a match on Raw, and it was the opening match on Raw. I thought it was, it honestly was like pay-per-view caliber if there was a title on the line. It was very good. I enjoyed it. It didn't make me go, man, this is so long. Sometimes, we do that. I like how Drew took Sheamus's move with the 10 beats on the chest. I thought that was pretty cool. That was different. They Sheamus took a shot on the back of the announce table. He took it right on the corner. That was pretty rough. Like I said, it was hard hitting. They both went for their finishers at the end of the match, but the Claymore was the first one to hit. Drew won by pinfall. I thought it was a clever way to end it, and I honestly enjoyed the match. What did you think?
I didn't think it was a bad match. Like you said, maybe a little on the long side, maybe better suited for pay-per-view. Again, it was just two guys I really am indifferent about. No one I'm really excited to see. I thought the effort was there, A+ effort from both of them. They put on a strong match, but just uninteresting characters.
Right on. Okay. From here, we did get an interesting character. We got Naomi backstage dancing. Oh, I love your sound effects. Nia interrupts, and they just stare at each other. Anything?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Not much.
And then we come back and we get the match. It's Naomi with Lana versus Nia Jax with Shayna Baszler. Naomi is the better worker in the match, but of course, the match was so fast. I mean, you probably like that. She didn't get any offense in, and Nia won by pinfall. That was pretty much how it went down. You have anything to add to that?
I loved how they tried to play up that Lana and Naomi were longtime best friends that talked for years about teaming together, right? I got a chuckle out of that. The match itself, not so much, but I thought they were very creative in their commentary trying to recreate history.
Right. The only thing I gotta say is I just wish Naomi would get a better push. It bothers me that she actually can work. She's not bad. She has a gimmick at least, something, but she's always doing jobs. I don't understand it, but whatever. I'll let it go. Then we think we're gonna get the WWE Championship match. It's 9:00. Bobby Lashley with MVP comes down. Miz's music hits. He doesn't come out. Miz shown backstage with Morrison and Pierce. He says he's sick and he's cramping up. Lashley is shown and he's just pissed off and he runs out back. Miz says he needs more time. Lashley grabs Miz by the throat and says, "We're having this match tonight." Adam tells Miz, "You are having the match tonight at 10 p.m. instead now." Now they name another time frame. What did you think of that?
I thought it was a creative way to try and keep people with the show.
Right. Yep, exactly. Other than that,
it made Miz come off more heelish.
Right.
But it made, I don't know if Lashley is even supposed to be a heel at this point, but it didn't make him very heelish where he kept getting screwed over and over again.
Well, and that's the thing is, honestly, I don't want to hate Lashley right now. That's what I'm going to say is I don't want to hate him because, honestly, The Miz is more hateable than him. So it's like you said, is Lashley the heel or what is, I don't know. But whatever the case may be, like you said, at least it was something. From there, we got Braun Strowman. He came out. He gets on the mic. WWE officials have something against him, he says. Elimination Chamber sucked because he wasn't in it. Now he's in a tag team match with somebody he doesn't even know who's going to be his partner. Shane McMahon and Adam Pearce come out. Shane tells Braun to relax. Your inability to react, your goals are your fault. He basically saying that the way you react, you're not going to get any of your goals done. You need to calm down. Shane says he's been taking college courses for basically how to work with Braun on making his goals happen. His match was made by Shane, not Adam. He needs to work with WWE management, and he will tag with WWE management. This is Shane talking. Sorry if I didn't click that. His tag team partner is Adam Pearce. I was like, oh my God, I was just like, Jesus. I honestly would have rather been Shane, so we could have seen, Stone Cold Shane McMahon. I always look forward to that now that you pointed that out to me. Shane says the Raw tag team titles are going to be on the line. Braun tells Shane that doesn't sound bad, but if Pierce screws this up, he's going to get these hands. So we get that segment. What did you think of it?
I think it's going to be a long road to WrestleMania with Strowman and Shane O'Mac every week, but.
And that's what that's what I'm getting. But I just don't even understand. That match doesn't even, usually Shane, at least if you're going to put in a match, you're always like, okay, what's going to happen? This match just doesn't sound that interesting to to
It'll be someone take some big bumps and probably do something crazy for Braun, I would imagine, at the show itself. Maybe he'll give him the big power slam off the pirate ship or something like that. I don't know.
I love it. So we get the Raw Tag Team title match. Braun Strowman and Adam Pearce. Shane's outside versus Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Braun cleans house early. He beats up everybody. He's just throwing people around, taking advantage of the situation, showing that he's the man. Shane basically starts telling, at the end of the match, Braun, tag him. So he tags him in, and all of a sudden, Pierce goes for the roll up, and they roll him up and gets the pin. Braun, because his name's Adam. Braun ends up going crazy, shaking his head, going nuts, and just starts freaking out about the whole entire thing. And then you see Shane just looking at him like he's against the barricade, just shaking his head like, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen? And that was how it went off. I mean, I don't know. What did you think of that? I thought it was pointless.
Well, maybe if they wanted to go the cinematic route at WrestleMania, they could do Shane O'Mac against Braun in a Raw Underground match.
Oh, would all must be there, though?
Well, someone's got to guard the door, I guess.
That's right. All
And
right.
the smoke.
This seems like an ongoing trend. What we had here was Bad Bunny and Priest backstage. Oh, I know. Elias comes over with Jason Rickner, and he basically says he thinks Bad Bunny has potential in the music industry. Basically asks if they want to have like maybe a little duet or help him out with the music. Bad Bunny says something in Spanish to Priest, which basically says no, thank you. He's not interested about partnering up in the music world. They walk off. Anything to say about it?
I continue to wonder who or what Bad Bunny is.
There you go.
I know he's a singer. I've asked, and most people I talk to either say, well, I don't know. They don't build him up as much as WWE does, that's for sure.
I'll tell you one thing. I bet WWE's hoping he wins one of those Grammys that he's up for, because he's up for 2 Grammys, so he can bring. He's going to keep that title, because if he wins one of those Grammys, they're going to want him bringing that title up on that big stage. You know how many people watch those shows?
I'd have someone. If I was Vince, I'd have someone as a plant in the audience,
There
and
you
have
go.
them do a run-in and pin him after he wins the Grammy.
Right?
Not tell anyone.
Right? If he wins, man, woof, that's good business for WWE.
Again, if it gets some new young fans to check the product out, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. But as far as my enjoyment of it goes, it's none.
Say that to you, I guess. Their demographic has been growing between 13 and 24. I was reading that
Because
in the
of
news.
Bad Bunny.
I don't know if it's because of that, but I'm just saying. Then we come back from break. We get Elias in the ring. He tells the crowd he got snubbed by the Grammys this year. He wants to basically let Bad Bunny know what WWE stands for. He gets interrupted by Bad Bunny. Damian Priest comes out right after Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny gets the craziest pyro shows for sure. I don't know if you have anything to say about that, but then we go right into the match. I'm guessing you don't. Damian Priest with Bad Bunny versus Elias and Jason Rickner.
Jackson Riker, is it not?
Jackson, right? What did I say,
Oh,
Jason?
Yeah,
Jackson.
I thought maybe they changed his name,
No,
and I didn't realize it. Oh, all right.
I don't even know why I said Jason. I think I was just thinking about something else. There was lots of submission work in the beginning. Lots of it. There was no action. It was just submission after submission holds. Elias gets mad with Bad Bunny because he's smirking at him. I put Jackson Reichner has great size. I don't know how they can't find anything for him other than this. Like, he looks good. You know what I mean? He looks like he has potential. I don't know if maybe Forgotten Sons was the only thing he could ever do.
Maybe he's just forgotten. I don't know.
That's true too.
I wish Elias would be forgotten.
You don't like him at all.
No.
See, I don't like the character so much. Like I said, the gimmick and all that. But I loved his look. Like, I think his look could sell. The gimmick he was given it, or whoever gave it to him, it sucks. He had the aggression in the match was great. I wouldn't mind seeing that side of Elias, the aggression he had during it. It was a very long match. Oh my God, it was very long. I think you probably thought so too.
Mm-hmm.
Damian gets the pinfall, and he remains undefeated since he's been on Raw. Anything to say about that?
You know what? It wasn't the best opponent for Priest to be in there as far as making him look good with, but you're talking about slim pickings as far as what's on the roster itself. Elias doesn't offer much. Like you said, he does have some size, but here he was suitable, I guess, to lay down and take the 3 count for Priest, who should continue to win and not lose, because that's the way you usually have the best shot at getting someone new over on a new brand. WWE loses track of that a lot of the times. But with Priest, I believe he remains undefeated on Raw, and hopefully it stays that way until he gets to some sort of a pay-per-view situation. I don't know if the situation with Bad Bunny will give him the superstar rub they're hoping, but you know what? At least they're giving it a shot.
Right on. Yeah. From there, we go backstage. Kayla's going to interview Randy Orton. He gets on the mic and he's basically saying he doesn't know what happened last week, meaning why he threw up that black stuff, but he thinks Alexa Bliss had something to do with it. And he says, unless Alexa wants to end up like The Fiend, to stay out of this. Alexa shows up on the screen laughing and then basically playing with the Jack-in-the-Box. And then all of a sudden, Randy shows up on the screen with a hood on, and he's looking at himself, and it just freaks him out. Like, I don't know. I know you're not a big fan of this kind of work. I thought it was kind of different, but it's kind of like you said. It's almost like it's childish, funny, like, and it doesn't do Randy anything. That's the main thing I don't like about it. It's not going to end up doing anything for him.
Anything that takes, I don't know what he is at this point, a 13-time world champion, and having him fear a 5-foot-tall possessed woman, I think is a little much.
Right.
I'd like to see him light her on fire and give her the Garvin stomp, and then it'd be over with.
There you go. From there, it's 10 o'clock. We get the WWE Championship match, we think. Bobby Lashley comes out with MVP. The Miz comes out with Morrison. Miz gets on the mic and says, let's talk about this. Tried to tell MVP, this isn't the stage to do it at. We should do it at WrestleMania. They start the match. Miz runs off. Lashley wins by count out. Do you want me to go right what happened after that, and then you can talk about it? Because then Shane McMahon backstage with Lashley, or do you want to talk about it?
Let's see what Stone Cold had to say.
All right. Shane McMahon backstage. Lashley says they did technically have a title match, but he's considering stripping the title from Miz, basically, and giving it to Lashley. We will see. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to talk about it with Adam. That was the segment. I don't know what you thought of it. I thought it was another creative way to keep the fans going on it, but other than that, I don't know.
I agree with you on that. Again, it kept you wanting to see what was going to happen next. I honestly thought it was going to be a bridge to the Fastlane pay-per-view on March 21st, and I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't. So I thought they did a good job with it.
I'm like 2 times in a row now. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
So I honestly thought that too.
It was a bit, if it was me, you know me, I'm all about the pacing. I would have stretched it out over a couple of weeks maybe instead of just one episode, but they're doing anything they can week by week to try and pop those ratings, and that's usually when it goes in reverse. They try too hard.
Too hard, yeah, I get you.
They could have done one segment one week, the second one the next week, the third one the week after, and really played it out to try and build up interest. But again, one man's opinion. Maybe a lot of people like the nonstop fast-paced shows. I just think it's so much happens and so much goes on. It's hard for it to stick in people's brains, and they don't care.
Right. Yeah. I can't disagree with any of that. From there, we got Charlotte Flair in the ring. She's going to be honest. It's been an emotional roller coaster. Didn't want to be in the title picture 6 weeks ago, but it's 6 weeks from Mania. Bianca chose Sasha, who is Asuka's challenger. Basically, she wants to face Asuka at WrestleMania now, but Asuka's at home injured. She lost a tooth. Did you see that? Like, I didn't know. Was that just something she spit out? Was that a real freaking tooth?
To me, it looked like a real tooth.
Right? I was looking at it and I'm like, was that really happening? Wow. But
her Japanese screams aren't going to sound the same until she gets it fixed.
I know, right? She'll be doing a little whistling through it. Then Asuka, basically, she says when she gets back, she's going to challenge her. Shayna Baszler comes out on the mic. Focused on yourself. You're fighting an uphill battle if you keep on going this route, she tells Charlotte. She's the reason why Asuka lost her tooth. You could benefit with some help. Nia says, no one likes you. I know, right? And basically the power of the division has shifted to them. I don't know. I thought it was a wasted segment. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was useless. Especially with Asuka not being there, right? You know?
Herman?
Yeah, I don't know. What did you...
You know me. I can't stand any of this. There's not enough women. There's not enough good women. And
it's the
I
same
feel
thing.
like I've seen it before. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
it's like one of those top 40 radio stations that you know is going to play the number one song at least a couple times an hour.
Right. And it's just like you said, it's the same thing every week. I don't know. It's and I want the women's division to succeed, but man, it's the same thing every week between the same four guys, and then you're gonna get your girls again on Wednesday night at NXT. Well, actually, I don't even know if you'll be able to see it yet, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's the same thing. After that, Shayna and Nia and Charlotte all start going at it. We get Shayna versus Charlotte. I mean, it was a good match. They're both good works. I'm not going to say anything about that, but it was a quick match. Charlotte Flair's won by pinfall. I don't know. What do you have to say about probably the match?
You know, the match itself, it wasn't bad. I mean, it was fine. It's just, again, more people I have absolutely no interest in watching. Charlotte Flair needs a break, and Shayna to me is just kind of shrug my shoulders. You know what I mean? They had a chance to do something remarkable with her when they gave her that big push coming in for the WrestleMania show, and they chose not to. And now to me, she's just Herman.
And you know what's crazy is every time I look at it now, because of you saying that, that's all I see. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you're too much because then I'm seeing that. From there, backstage, we have Shane telling Pierce if Miz doesn't show up for the match tonight, they will strip him of the title and award it to Bobby Lashley. Okay. Then we get the match. Lucha House Party and Riddle versus T-Bar, Slapjack, and Mace. It was a quick match. Lucha House Party and Riddle won the match, which ended up leading to, which actually was a pretty good match. I actually liked it. It was Ali versus Riddle. Ali's definitely a good worker. I think he's getting hidden doing this stuff because no one believes him as a retribution leader. There was a nasty knee by Riddle to Ali's face, which was really good. Reckoning with Mia Yim distracted the ref, which led to Ali pinning Riddle. What did you think of the whole thing between both matches?
You know what's funny? Your dear, longtime, close personal relative, Mr. Cena, was here today, and we were trying to discuss Retribution, and I couldn't even remember all of their names. How sad is that they've been on TV this long? And I think I got T-Bar and Mace. So who's the other one? Slapjack?
Slapjack.
I forgot about Slapjack. Well, Reckoning, the female, I remembered.
Yeah.
But there was one of the males I couldn't remember. Just, what does it say about them at this point that they can't even beat guys that couldn't even win on NXT in Lucha House Party during the Dusty Tag Team Tournament? I mean, I understand the purpose of including them in the tournament where they were so tag team light. I don't know why they needed to have so many teams, but again, that's a different story for a different time. I'm all for a Mustafa Ali push. I'm all for good Mustafa Ali matches. I just don't understand Mustafa Ali pinning the guy in what had to have been some kind of a strange botched finish, beating the guy that just won the U.S. title a couple of weeks ago clean pretty much.
Right.
It just shows, again, what a overly thin roster, anorexic roster right now.
And that's the thing is they have a lot of talent.
They should be trying to heat Riddle up, not have him do jobs to the worst faction that they've developed in years.
Yep, I know. I mean, I don't get it. And the thing is Ali shouldn't be the leader. Retribution could have been something if they put somebody that actually was believable as the leader. The whole thing, like you said, is just a mess. From there, we go backstage. It's Shane and Adam talking. Miz shows up and says, "I'm here," because basically, if he didn't show up, they were going to strip him. He said he did defend it though. Shane hasn't picked out what kind of match it's going to be yet though. Miz says he deserves a WrestleMania match and the respect. He's a main event caliber champion. I don't know. Anything?
He's great. He's great.
There you go. So then we go. It was about 10:50 when this match kicked off. It was WWE Championship match. Bobby Lashley with MVP versus The Miz with Morrison. Shane McMahon says he thought of something. It's going to be a Lumberjack match. The Lumberjacks come out. Basically, at first, Miz is just playing. He's running around trying to avoid. The Lumberjacks are starting to try to throw him back in. Bobby finally gets his hands on Miz and just beats on him the whole time. Lashley had a great spine buster in this match, I put. Miz taps to the Hurt Lock. and we get a new champion, Bobby Lashley. The almighty era is about to begin. I was very happy with this. This was the match of the night for me, right? Just because what I wanted was finally happened. Bobby Lashley being champion. Now, with the possibilities that can happen here, I mean, I don't know what the WrestleMania card is, but right now you could wake up the Beast Incarnate and Brock versus Lashley. I don't know if there's enough time to build that kind of match. You also have the possibilities of Bobby facing Drew. Like, there's so many different things that can happen there. So I was actually very happy to see Bobby win it now, because maybe we have a storyline that can build to something big at WrestleMania for him.
You know what? It was nice to see what should be. You know, it's a little, probably 14 years too late for Bobby to get a WWE Championship for the first time, but that's a different story for a different program. I was very, 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 very happy with the match, the outcome, the fact that I was worried for a second when he put the full Nelson on him again after the match that maybe they were going to do like a dusty finish and disqualify him and say that the pinfall didn't count, but that didn't happen. Lashley left the Thunderdome with the championship belt. It does create many scenarios headed into Fastlane and WrestleMania. I imagine Miz is going to be in line for a shot. If McIntyre doesn't get a title shot at Fastlane, my educated thought is going to be that McIntyre gets the WrestleMania match and wins it in front of people to see what I've been trying to say all along, just how over or not over the man is. But, you know, at the same time, the past year can't be forgotten with all of the pointless losses that the man had. You know, losing it to Orton for, I don't know what it was, about 3 weeks, and then that Money in the Bank cash-in by Miz. You know what? We've waited so long on Lashley. Do you give him the belt for 4 or 5 weeks and then take it off him again, and then you cool him off? McIntyre, I really don't think is hot right now. I would go with Lashley and play the hot hand. Then you go, well, and the match I've said for many years that I would, one of the few that I would want to go out of my way, I'd even pay to see it, would be Lashley and Lesnar. But at the same time, are you going to spend the money to bring Lesnar back to have him do a job right away? And then again, if Lesnar beats him, you cool off Lashley right away. So there's lots of different trains of thoughts. I'd love to be in the creative meetings right now, as I'm sure they know, God, I hope they know what direction they're going in for WrestleMania with this WWE Championship encounter. But as long as it isn't Miz, as long as it isn't Sheamus, it makes it a little bit more tolerable. But I would go with the hot hand. I mean, they've done a really good job in building up Lashley over the past couple of months now. I know I've said it on this show many times. It kept seeming like they were building Lashley up for something more, like they were building up Lashley for something more. I honestly didn't expect to see this happen. I was very pleasantly surprised. I don't want to go too in-depth about some of the upcoming episodes we have on Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays after SmackDown on Friday nights with John Cena Sr., but I will say this, for the first time in a long time, I think you have two very respectable, credible champions on both shows.
Absolutely. I totally agree. That's what I was thinking too.
It's been a long time since I think you could say that.
Absolutely. I was, like you said, I was very happy that now you got Reigns and you have Lashley, two champions. They can put the titles on and show off WWE Champion, so it's believable, like you said.
You know what? There's a lot to be said about what's going to happen between now and April 10th and April 11th, but I wouldn't change either one of them at WrestleMania. I mean, and I'm a big Edge guy, but I think Roman's too hot. What do you get out of taking the title off of him for a guy that's, 46, 47 years old and makes for a feel-good story, sure, but do you want to kill off or, cool off the hottest guy in the company, you could argue right now? I don't know. I wouldn't. If I was booking, I'd have both of them retain at WrestleMania. They've tried the McIntyre experiment. Even though he became the champion under the worst of times, winning in a WrestleMania in an empty warehouse, I mean, did it sustain the ratings? I mean, no. The ratings continued to decline, and that certainly wasn't all his fault. It was a program filled with bad creative all around and a very boring atmosphere until they came up with the Thunderdome concept. But at the same time, he didn't do anything to salvage it either. So you can't put all the blame on him, but you can't ignore the fact that he didn't do any business with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Totally.
I hope, my educated assumption is going to be that one of the two nights at Raymond James Stadium, it ends with the pyro going off with your new champion, Drew McIntyre. And I could do without that. I'd rather see Bobby leave Mania with, I don't know if you call it championship gold anymore. I don't know what you call it. I don't know, stainless steel or... I have no idea. I'd have no idea what that belt is supposed to be anymore in more ways than one. But like I said, at least it has people talking, people interested. You know, it's still, when I was on Twitter today, I saw WrestleMania trending at different points. I saw Lesnar trending at different points. Bobby trending at different points. I'm just very happy for Bobby. I mean, he was an absolute pleasure to have here, compete in Boston Wrestling MWF, just a couple of blocks down the streets from the studio at Memorial Hall. He feuded with John Cena Sr.'s Uprising faction. He does a lot of great community work in Denver, Colorado. He's an overall good human being. I don't know if he's supposed to be a heel right now, other than the fact he's in a heel faction with a heel manager. I think people just like him.
It's true.
He's a likable guy.
Exactly, and I think a lot of people think, like you said, back 14 years ago, he should have had a chance to get it. Now people, you know.
If Cena was going to be the face of Raw, Lashley definitely should have been the face of SmackDown. It's unfortunate that those incidents that happened took place, but they did. You can't rewrite history. You can only work with life going forward as it is, and you can only hope they try and make better choices than they have since the bell rang at WrestleMania 17, when there's been more bad than good. And like I said, for the first time in a long time, you know, at least as far as the top of the card goes, I'm pleasantly surprised and happy with who they have representing each brand right now. I would not make a change anytime soon because I don't see anyone on paper right now that I would put in that spot above them.
Right on.
I mean, I know Bobby's a little long in the tooth compared to McIntyre, but he doesn't look it and he doesn't wrestle like it. I mean, he doesn't wrestle like a man his age. This isn't the WCW Nitro era with the guys in their early 40s that could barely walk. This is a different group of athletes, you could say, in 2021.
Absolutely. My grade for the night was, I gave it because of the title change. I like that, and I like the ongoing trend of the 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, you know, the hours.
Mm-hmm.
And things like that. I'm going to be nice, and I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Well, you know what? I must have been even more generous than you. I actually upped it. I gave it a 7 out of 10. There were things about the show I liked. In addition to the title change, the little scenarios they came up with to try and keep you tuned in. Ali, I like that. Him getting a win and something of substance. Even if it isn't something I'm clamoring to see at WrestleMania, you know, they're starting to plant the seeds for Braun and Stone Cold Shane O'Mac. You know, even as much as they were people I weren't interested in, I thought McIntyre and Sheamus had a fine match. If it wasn't for all the other shit in the middle that sucked, I might have given it an 8. It was a very memorable show. You don't see world title changes very often on free television. So overall, it was a good night, a memorable night. I bet you as a result, next week, whatever the rating is this week, I bet it nudges up a little bit.
Hell yeah. That's cool. I do have a little bit of news.
What do we got? Sure.
All right. First one was Wesley of MSK. It sucks. He got injured. He has a broken hand, so he's going to be out missing some time. So I think that might hurt MSK now for a little bit. I seen that today. I don't know if you seen anything about that.
Well, Wesley of the Little Dutch Boy family did not break his hand, so I'm happy about that.
Okay.
No, that's too bad. I mean, a guy they've brought in to great fanfare and given a really good push right off the bat. Sucks that he's injured right away, but a broken hand, he should be able to work around that. Not too long of a timetable. I don't even know when the next takeover is, so... Have they announced it? You know, honest, I'm not even trying to be funny. Do you have any idea when it is?
No, they haven't said anything yet.
So, I mean, is it a death sentence? Not really. Is the timing great? No, but I mean, it could be worse. Imagine if they had a takeover WrestleMania weekend that he could be borderline for if they were going to get the tag team title match.
But you know what they're going to have the next show is NWA. They're going to have the next pay-per-view on Wednesday, March 21st, Back for the Attack. Are you ready for that?
What?
NWA announced today they're going to have their next.
You talking about the National Wrestling Alliance?
Yes.
Oh, please.
I just said.
Oh, I
It's
told you, in
red-
2021, the NWA stands for one thing, not worth anything.
There you go. It's new, so I wanted to try to make the new segment a little more.
They're trying to do a pay-per-view on a Wednesday night when there's not one but 2 free TV shows on.
March
That
21st.
diehard fans that would probably go out of their way to buy their show, the worst night they could possibly pick.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I looked because I'm like, when's March 21st? I had to look what it was.
No, March 21st is a Sunday.
Oh, yeah. What did I say? Wednesday?
So So this is even better. So they're going to go head-to-head with Fastlane.
Yeah.
I wish you could see the look on my face.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, what does the NWA offer that anyone would want to go out of their way to pay to see?
I don't know.
I mean, you know what? I'm not trying to knock the efforts of the people involved and the athletes involved, but I don't think I could tell you more than 2 or 3 people that are even involved in the NWA.
Well, they're rostered all the time, so it's hard. Absolutely. And they've been off TV for a while now, so it's tough way.
I feel bad for Billy Corgan. It's too bad he couldn't have invested his money better and walked away with Impact Wrestling. It would have been interesting to see what he could have done with that. I don't know. I mean, the NWA trying to go retro back to the mid-'70s on TBS. I don't know if that's the way to go in 2021 either, but I mean, do you watch NWA when it is on?
I was watching it for a little bit just to watch, because I like Eli Drake. I was watching his stuff, and I was watching a little bit of Aaron Stevens because I like him a lot too. But other than that, no, I didn't watch a ton of it. It was one show that I probably didn't pay attention to at all.
Was there anything on it worthwhile going out of your way to see?
Not really.
No.
That's why I think it came off TV for so long, and now they're going to be coming back. I mean, that's my guess.
I don't see the point. But
over the weekend, Big Cass returned back to wrestling. I don't know if you've seen that. He actually looks really good. It looks like he's in shape.
I did. I saw a photo of it. I think it had something to do with the show ran by Luke Gallows.
Yep.
Well, you know what? If he can overcome his mental health issues, good for him. Everyone deserves a second chance. There's people that have done far, far worse involved in this industry that have received many more chances than him. Usually someone with his size is going to be given many more opportunities than a small man if they've made mistakes. So hopefully he can show that he's in a better place in his life right now. And, at his size, I can't imagine there would be lack of interest in any company to try and sign him.
Right on. This is probably your favorite news of the week right now is Chelsea Green signed a new 3-year deal with the WWE today.
Oh, I was getting worried there for a minute.
I know, right? All she's been is hurt. And also we have Joey Styles filed for the trademark for his name today. Joey Styles. I don't know. I've seen that. I don't know why he would file for that. I don't think anybody's going to keep it, right?
Maybe he was afraid that another company would try and, other than WWE, I can't think of anyone that would have any intellectual property with him on it. But, if I was him, I'd want to own my property. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
In worst case scenario, I mean, really, like you said, who's going to go and try and take Joey Styles? But, better safe than sorry. I mean, he worked many, many decades now. That's his brand. That's his name. I'd want to keep it close to the vest. So good for him if he gets it.
Mark Henry plans on having another match in the next 6 months because he needs to have a match because Big Show came back. So he wants to be able to have another match too.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes, sir.
I don't get it, but I guess if it makes Mark Henry happy, good for him. Hopefully he has more to contribute than he did to the MWF when he came in for the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive, but
I think it's because Big Show's going to be wrestling in 4 decades now. Mark Henry wants to wrestle in 4 decades.
No.
So I think that has
if it makes him happy, I mean, good for Mark. I'm sure there's some 6-man they can throw him in on a forgettable pay-per-view or Raw, or I don't know if they're going to be headed to Saudi Arabia anytime soon for another one of those greatest Royal Rumbles, but
yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, they can always come up for a spot for a guy like that. I mean, even if he waited until the Rumble.
Hell yeah. And that was it for the news so far. Well, actually, that's all for this week because this will be the
Yeah, I mean, literally all for the week because, again, folks, as we noted, Thursday night at 9, Saturday night at 9, we are going to be preempted with our regular review programs as I am on a top secret mission along with top enjoyment at Universal Orlando. So we're going to have a news segment on Thursday where we are going to announce some very, to me, exciting WrestleMania week plans that you and I have discussed that we're going to let the fans in on. And then Saturday night, we're going to discuss the latest on our Boston Wrestling MWF Live Wrestling events as we know it to be here in the Boston area. So we won't have what we regularly bring you at 9 o'clock on Thursday and Saturday, but we will have some new, fresh, original content. And then, of course, at the 10 o'clock hours, we'll have the Thursday Night Wrestling Insiders with Marty Jannetty and the Saturday Night Weekend Review at 10. So we're not going to leave you hanging, even if let me tell you, kiddo, I was here today about 8:30. Oh, my God. I'm telling you, there aren't many brain cells left in this brain to be fried at this point, but I'm trying to get everything done so we don't skip a beat for our great fans on Boston Wrestling, on the YouTube, and especially the Patreon, the family, La Familia of Boston Wrestling. We love those guys so much. They're part of the family, but everyone that watches any of these shows is certainly a great friend. Again, we try and push the live premiere, super chats. Any donation helps. The eBay store is open 24/7. The link can be found in the description box below. I was told from my dear friends in Connecticut, we're going to be receiving a care package of love with some T-shirts in it. I'm anxious to see what's in that. Of course, the Patreon streaming service, patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. What you get there for less than a cup of coffee. It's almost a sin if you can afford it and don't subscribe, but we know that in these crazy times, not everybody even has a couple of dollars like that to spare. But remember, there's always free things you can do to help the cause to get more eyeballs on what we do. I realize there are millions upon millions of fans that have no idea we exist. Once they do, I think they will come to enjoy and love it. If you hit the thumbs up button, that's a big help. If you subscribe to the channel, that's a big help. If you share links on social media to get new folks learning about us, that's a big help. Anything you can do to let YouTube know there's interaction and viewership going on our programs, it's a big help. If we can grow, I think I told you, or maybe I didn't tell you. I know I mentioned it on one of the shows with Johnny, but record viewership again in the month of February, in a 28-day month, the shortest month of the year, and we set the record for the most amount of views and the longest amount of watch time.
Awesome.
So that's great. I mean, we were up, I believe, just about 7 times from where we were in February of 2020. So that would be like saying if we were Raw, for example, we'd be going from 2 to 14 million people watching the show. So that's a pretty significant increase. Not that we're at anywhere near that level, but, if we can keep growing like that, the things we can do and the superstars we can bring you, it's limitless. So I look forward to that. I look forward to our Thursday night announcement. I really like the idea that we've come up with for Tampa Week in WrestleMania. I think it's going to keep all of our great Boston wrestling fans engaged. I don't want to give any hints, though. I think we should save it.
All right. Sounds good.
But I've been searching for what we've been talking about. I have a couple of links I'm going to send you tonight, as a matter of fact.
Sounds good. Can't wait.
All right, wrestling fans, for my partner in crime, Little Cena, a man that I don't know if he owns any salmon pants, but he's certainly been here, and he certainly knows chocolate minus the pants, but that's a different story for a different time. I'm Dan Mirade. Until we speak again, folks, remember at the top of the hour, which is just literally minutes away, it's Mr. USA Tony Atlas Wrestling Insiders at your house. Tony discusses the returns of Edge, Galito, the departure of Lars Sullivan. He discusses fast food, orange juice, and all kinds of crazy things from the mind of Tony Atlas. Again, for Dave, I'm Dan. We'll see you at 10. Good night. The World Wrestling Federation was live at the Worcester Centrum in Worcester, Massachusetts, Saturday, March the 2nd, 1996. In the opening contest, the Godwins beat the Body Donners. Ringmaster Steve Austin with the win over Marty Jannetty. The 1-2-3 Kid defeated Bob Hawley. Ahmed Johnson victorious over Tatanka, replacing Jeff Jarrett. Owen Hart beat Aldo Montoya, replacing Yokozuna. Savio Vega replaced Razor Ramon with the win over Intercontinental Champion Goldust via countout. Duke the Dumpster Droese defeated Hunter Hearst Helmsley. WWF World Champion Bret Hart retained the title over The Undertaker via countout due to interference from Goldust, and Shawn Michaels victorious over British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith. If you were in Worcester Live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our acclaimed Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston wrestling sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.